Welcome to or from Salalah in Oman. We arrived at some point very, very early in the morning, and when I went to breakfast, we could clearly see that we are in a very industrial port. I don't think there's a lot of cruise tourism happening here. I am staying on board today, but most people seem to get off, and that's pretty good because it means I have the ship all to myself. And so after I did my laps this morning, usually I just go straight down, but for some reason I decided to go through deck 16 where there's the indoor pool, and I noticed that all the jacuzzis were empty. So I thought, this is where I'm gonna go. And I spent a nice relaxing time in the jacuzzi all by myself. There was nobody there. It was just amazing. And then I went up to deck 18, lay in the sun, and then Frank was there and Angelica, who is a lady who also sits at my dining table. And we just laid in the sun for an hour, and then Frank suggested we go off the slides. And because we also had the slides to ourselves. And so we spent half an hour just sliding down the different slides. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit afraid of the one slide, but even though they go super fast, it was a lot of fun. And now I'm back in my cabin, and I noticed that ever since last night, the air conditioning is different in my room. There's not a lot of air coming through, so it's quite warm. I just changed the setting to cooler again to see if that helps. If not, it's kind of a struggle, because before you're like, the air conditioning is too hard, kind of like hurricane style, you're being blown away, and now it's too soft. But yeah. It is a very relaxing day today, like it is every single day. I'm sorry. But today I really just want to focus on myself and do only things that I want to do. I'm going to try not to do so much work, but just enjoy the day here in Salalah. Oh, and what a day it was here on Costa Toscana in Salalah. I apologize, there was no afternoon update again. I will make sure that in the next episode we get it. But it's an interesting day because I opted to stay on the ship all day. And it was amazing because went to the jacuzzi, went off the slides, etc. And then I worked quite a lot today on the ship. The ship was super quiet and was very, very productive. I had lunch again on deck 6, came back, and then in the late afternoon I went upstairs to I apologize again, this is all extremely raw and real, as you know. So in the late afternoon I went back up to deck 18, and then when you go up they have these like rocking chairs almost, and I sat there in the sunshine listening to some podcasts, and they annoyingly, but probably because of the crazy wind that we had the last few days, they locked the chairs so they weren't really rocking that much. That was disappointing. And then I had dinner, and dinner, again, not to complain about the food, because the food itself is really good, right? And also, again, you can order multiples, all these things. But there's just a lot that gets lost in translation, where every time we have to, based on whatever is presented in front of us versus what's on the menu, it's completely different worlds. Even basic things like dessert today was a cheesecake, and what was in front of us, I don't know in what world that could have even been remotely close to a cheesecake. So yeah, that's one thing. Apologies again, I'm sorry if you're listening through this through headphones. Again, very raw and real. Now, what I want to talk about is Salalah, and I know in Muscat is going to be the same thing. What's great about dinner with 5 other strangers in that sense, who all have their individual plans on when they go ashore, is that many of the people today wanted to try and explore Salalah by themselves. Not a single person succeeded. Everybody failed. Taxi prices from the port to the city center, which is around 20 kilometers away, were about 150 to 180 euro. Think about that. 22 kilometers, 180 euros. if you wanted to rent a taxi for the afternoon or the morning to take you to a few places, between 250 and 300 euro. It is a complete, utter, total scam, and I would recommend anyone that comes to Salalah to either book an excursion through the cruise line or just stay on board. And even the cruise line excursions, because I was working around that time, they were very short and super expensive. Like the call time for most excursions this morning was around 8 a.m. So basically the bus will leave 8:30, 8:45, and they returned at around 11, right? And you pay well over 100 euros for that. But again, it's a little bit of a personal frustration that, cities, countries forget, and I said it before, I'll say it again in my frustration with regards to Athens, if you remember. Cruise ports, or ports in general, where cruise lines go, it is a welcome card to your city. It's a welcome card to your area, to your country. So not put any sense of care and effort into that makes now almost 3,000 people go and say, and excuse my language, fuck Salalah. I already knew up front, so I didn't bother. Tomorrow we have a sea day, then we get to Muscat. Muscat, I've been already twice this year on a cruise. It's the exact same, excuse my language again, shit show. And I will go off the ship, but because I know what I want. I'm basically just gonna walk around a little bit just to get off the ship. But I'm not even going to attempt to go anywhere because the taxi situation is the same, and that is just very, very disappointing. Now, moving to something a little bit more positive. I don't know when you're going to listen to this episode, but today here on Costa Toscana, officially Christmas arrived. All the staff is wearing Christmas hats. There was a big Christmas show in the late evening, which was very entertaining, I'm not going to lie. But the stars of tonight, and these three ladies, they are like opera singers. They must, I guess, have embarked today here in Salalah, because why would you wait 2.5 weeks before you put them on stage? It was amazing. Three ladies, they could have been sisters for all I know, singing opera like Figaro. And even if opera is not like your thing, it was so impressive. It was so amazing. Performers of the cruise so far, and probably will be. Absolutely amazing. And again, I'm now looking and staring at the program for tomorrow. It's another sea day. And again, Costa, and this is also the consensus that people have, Costa is really putting in a tremendous amount. It's almost like it's not Costa. I don't know what's happening here. But again, so much effort to keep us entertained. So well done. I am having a great time. Yes, right? With the exception of things that happen in the port. Those are big things to me. But the things I might complain about on the ship, ultimately, right, are small details, and you need to take all these things with a grain of salt. But today, again, I really liked it. Like, I'm really happy that we're going back at sea tomorrow, because I love sea days. I really do. They really keep you in the bubble that is the cruise world, the cruise that I love so much. So that being said, if you're still listening and you're still like, okay, I want to learn more about this sea day tomorrow, about Doha, Muscat, Abu Dhabi, and then of course arrival and debarkation in Dubai, then hit subscribe. Wherever you're listening to right now, hit subscribe. Also, make sure that you check out the sponsor of today's episode, which is epiccruisedeals.com. If you're following along, you already know about Epic Cruise Deals. And if you're not, if you're new, then Epic Cruise Deals is a free service, 100% free. You can sign up, just enter your email, and this is a team that monitors the cruise fares of all your favorite cruise lines, and whenever the prices drop, you'll get an email notification making sure that you can book your cruise against the best deals every single time. So go check out epiccruisedeals.com. I'm going to close with this because else I'm going to forget. I also tried just now the burger place Salty Beach on deck 16 inside the indoor pool kind of area. It opens at 10 p.m. It is open till 6 a.m. So for any kind of midnight snack craving you have, this is where you go. It is a paid restaurant, at least on Costa Toscana. I have been on other Costa ships where Salty Beach was partly free. But on Costa Toscana, I think it's fully paid. It's very cheap. A burger is $3.50, burger, fries and dessert is €5, and it's so much better than McDonald's. And so I tried, I took a picture because on our last Costa Toscana cruise, I was here with my cousins. They definitely loved Salty Beach and spent a lot of time there. So I had to take one for the team and try the burger again, which was great. So I can only recommend. Either way, guys, I will see you in the next episode, another day at sea, and I'm excited for it. It's been a great cruise so far. I'll see you in the next episode.